Today, I want to talk a little bit about Sharon Mitchell. Sharon Mitchell is a very well-known and popular actress in the blue movie genre. Now, she started out and did most of her movies in New York City. So she didn't get to LA very often. So I never got a chance to meet her and work with her like I would like to. I didn't even get a chance to meet her at any of the conventions or anything. I don't think she ever went to any of the conventions that I went to. So I kind of admired her from afar, and I've been a fan for decades. And the one time I did get to meet her. Now, I had been under contract with Caribbean Films, and they were out of Michigan, but they did all their shooting in Los Angeles. So again, she was East Coast, I was left coast. I didn't get a chance to see her. But after I left Caribbean, I was under brief contract for, I think it was 2 years, maybe just 1 year, with Zane Entertainment Group. And they are based out of New York State, not New York City. But they did their shooting in Los Angeles. Well, we were shooting, I think it was Uniform Behavior. And Sharon needed to shoot a scene. I can't remember what it was for, but there was just this one little scene that she needed to shoot. I think it was a pickup scene for a film that she'd kind of already shot, but they needed this one little scene to flesh it all out, so to speak. Double entendre there. Anyway, she kind of did a little piggyback, as they call it, on our set. So while my crew and the cast for the film that I was in took a little break, and did lunch or whatever, her crew and her cast went to work on our set, and they did their little pickup scene there. And she was a big hit. Everybody was so excited that she was there. So they all came down, came to see her, even people who were on lunch break and stuff. And everybody wanted to get their picture taken with her. I mean, of course, the woman's beautiful. She does a marvelous job when she works. She's very popular. I think another reason that our paths never crossed is, well, as she says in many of her interviews, there's a reason that her initials are S and M. And that wasn't really the kind of thing I was into. So we didn't really make the same type of films, so we really never crossed paths. Sharon is still active in the business, although not in front of the camera. Sharon Mitchell made roughly 1,000 movies over her 20-year career, including 38 as director. After retiring from production work, Sharon became a certified addiction counselor and later obtained an MA and a PhD from the Institute for Advanced Study of Human Sexuality. In 1998, Sharon founded the Adult Industry Medical Health Care Foundation, also known as AIM, AIM, which is an organization that provided information and STD testing to workers in adult entertainment. In 2004, they were testing about 1,200 actors and actresses in the business per month. In 2011, a security breach led to the public release of over 12,000 adult performers' personal information. A privacy breach lawsuit was filed against the Institute, and they closed their doors in May of 2011. Subsequently, oversight of the protocol was assumed by the Free Speech Coalition. And on a side note, the Free Speech Coalition is who gave me my Lifetime Achievement Award. One of the things a lot of actresses in this business worry about, and they should worry about, is stalkers. We have a lot of over-exuberant fans, let's say. And I have a concealed carry permit, so I can protect myself. I have only had to pull it out once. I have never had to use it. Thank God. But unfortunately, a number of years ago, Sharon did run into one of these over-exuberant stalkers, and she was not able to protect herself at the time. But this is why a lot of the actresses in the business might seem like they have just fallen off the face of the earth. They want to live their life in private. They don't want people bringing up the past, what they did 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and throwing stones at them, as so many are prone to do. You might be surprised at how many comments on my YouTube channel I've had to delete, because for some reason we want to, as a society, we like to brag on our nice young men who are fruitful and multiply, and they're young studs, and oh, look at how he's had all these women, and isn't he hot? But then the woman gets shamed, you know, for being sexually active, or for enjoying sex, or for coming out and admitting that she is sexual of any nature. We have a very big double standard in this world. And if somebody has, I mean, look at Ron Jeremy. Until his debacle with the law and his dementia and all that, he was applauded by millions. The same people, in many cases, who would throw stones at a woman for doing the exact same thing. So society has a tendency to not want to let go of what women have done in the past, you know. Men can quite easily move on from, like, for example, Sylvester Stallone. He did an X-rated movie. As a matter of fact, he did it for Caribbean Films, the film company that I was first signed under contract with. And in the end of that film, he punches a woman in the face. That's fine, Hollywood says. That's fine, society says. And he becomes Rocky and does all these movies, and he's a big Hollywood star. You know, he's Hollywood royalty, they say. But a woman has a very difficult time breaking through that barrier, you know. So that's a big reason why some actresses, many of whom I've never met, like I get a lot of requests to do a video about Lisa DeLayu, and I think I'm probably mispronouncing it, but she was a beautiful actress back in the day. She left before I ever got involved, so I never had the opportunity to meet her. Desiree Cousteau is another one. I don't know whatever happened to these women because I never met them to begin with. They were gone before I got involved in the business. But that's one reason why women, after they leave the business, they don't want anybody to mention that that's something that they did. They want to totally get away from it completely, because many times it's a strategic move. It's not that they're ashamed of what they did. It's that they want to protect themselves and they want to protect their family. If they have children, if they have a husband or a wife, they don't want them to be shunned or harassed for something they did 30, 40, 50 years ago. Like I said, I'm still getting nasty comments on my channel, shaming for what I have done 30, 40 years ago, because I left the business in '91. So that's been quite a while. But people are still, and I don't mind talking about it, I do bring it up, and because I'm not embarrassed about what I've done. And neither is Sharon Mitchell. And I think that's one of the things that I admire about her, is she's not afraid or ashamed to say, yes, I like this particular kind of sex, and I'm not ashamed to do this in front of the camera. That's her prerogative, and nobody should shame her for it. Throw a Bible in her face or judge her, like it says not to do in that Bible, by the way. So that's just me throwing my 2 cents out there. But that's another reason why we try to protect ourselves so much from stalkers, because sometimes it's not just an over-exuberant fan. Sometimes it's a judgmental, so-called Christian do-gooder who thinks he's going to serve out justice on his own. We've all seen that kind of stuff on the news. You know how it is. And you got to be a pretty strong person to come back from something like that and to reach out to help other people. So that, in a nutshell, is Sharon Mitchell, a very strong, independent, admired by me woman. So thanks for watching.